Hey everyone, pot of luck. So this video is Zuppa Tuscano. It's a soup that I found by trying to figure out what dishes I could make with cream. So here we go. So the first thing I did was to get some hot sausages, hot Italian sausage, and I got this off of Taobao. So I don't know how fresh this was. Supposedly it was fresh. I didn't get sick from it, but here we go. Anyway, I sliced the casings, took out all the uh, sausage, and rather than doing it in the casing, I cooked it all broken up. And you saw there, I cut up a hot chili pepper just because I wanted it to be extra spicy. This wasn't part of the recipe, but whatever. Anyway, so I cooked this, and a lot of liquid came out. Probably not all fat, as you can see there. But anyway, I tried to cook it down a little, and there was just too much liquid. I was just planning on cooking the bacon in that liquid. There was just way too much. So I took a little bit of it out. Well, actually a lot. And that's what was left. And so I was going to use that to cook the bacon. So this is Chinese bacon, so it's not the traditional American bacon that everyone's used to. But at the time in China, I didn't realize it. And to the Chinese, bacon is just a cut of meat. But to Americans, we all know it's smoked meat. And they don't smoke theirs, so it's just the cut of meat. I mean, it's a good flavor, but not the same. So anyway, I used it. Anyway, it takes tons longer to cook to American standards as well, because the smoking kind of cooks it a bit. But anyway, I cooked it in the liquid from the hot Italian sausage that we just saw, and that kind of I wanted to kind of soak up some of the hot flavor and the sausage flavor, and I put the pepper in there when I cooked this. So right here, it's pretty much done, but I had to cook it extra long to get it to the way I like it, to be bacon, right? We all know that color, but that's what I did. So next, I just cut up some garlic, and at that time, I only had a cleaver, and so I used that to cut everything, and I sharpened it with a very dull sharpener. So anyway, that's a little something that I picked up along the way, is to crush the garlic and then slice it, and then you don't have to, slice it both ways. It's pretty much flat. You just slice it once and then dice it. So anyway, there that is. There's the garlic. Nice little amount, probably two tablespoons. So next, we got the onion, and it was really hard to find anything but red onions in China when I lived there. So I just used whatever I could get. And here you can see I was thinking about testing out a different method. So the one you just saw is something I've been doing for years and years and years. But this one I've been seeing, and it seemed easier. A little easier. And it helps, but I mean, you still have to dice the bits at the end. So anyway, I think this was the first time I actually tried to do it this way. So that's why I'm slicing it slow. But yeah. Alright, so time to saute the onions. So I just left all that juice in there after I cooked the bacon. Took the bacon out and just added it to the Italian sausage, because just add that towards the end, because that's completely cooked. Nothing else really to do with that. And this was a while ago, since I've realized that if you put the garlic in that soon, since it's so small and tiny, garlic tends to overcook. So you want to wait till the onions are almost completely cooked and translucent, and then add the garlic so that they kind of finish at the same time. All right, so next, peeling potatoes. So this way we, the recipe I saw shows it like this. You kind of slice the potatoes, but these potatoes are kind of big. So what I ended up doing was actually slicing them all like this, and then I started to realize that's way bigger than a bite size, right? Because we're eating this with a spoon. It's got to be able to actually fit in the spoon, and you don't want just potatoes. You want like sausage and bacon and some of the broth, and so I realized I needed to slice it smaller, so I started slicing it a little bit smaller. So obviously, from the way I'm talking, you realize that I had never made this recipe before, and so I'm just kind of winging it. The recipe I'm going by, if you know me at all, you know I don't really use recipes except for kind of just a guideline. And so I knew it had sausage, I knew it had potatoes, and I know you have to cook the potatoes, so so I just threw all the onions in. I figured, why not? It'll just add to the flavor of the soup and the broth. So I just threw them in there, the onions and the garlic, and let them cook along with the potatoes. Some people cook the potatoes, drain the potatoes, and then add them to the broth, but I didn't do all that. And I actually added the water to the remnants of the oil and juice and whatever from the sausage, then the bacon, then the onions. And so I cooked the potatoes, added the sausage and bacon. Cook that, make sure that the potatoes are done before doing this step, because once you add the cream, you don't want it to boil. If you start to boil it, the cream's going to separate and it's not going to be good, not going to be tasty. It's just going to end up horribly. So pretty much when you're heating the cream up, you just want it to barely simmer, just barely. If even, you just kind of want to heat it up. That's all. And so I did that, and then the very last step before serving is going to be to add spinach. So I'm not actually sure if this is spinach, but the guy said it was the first time, and then another guy said, oh, that's not spinach. And my Chinese isn't great, so I got what I got. It's similar tasting. It's a leafy vegetable. Anyway, this was good. It was delicious. Actually, the flavor, by leaving that juice and that sauce and making the broth out of that, made one of the best flavors soups that I've ever had. But anyway, this is Zuppa Tuscano.